Welcome everybody to the 4-day gratitude challenge that we are doing here in the group. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are joining me from a Facebook business page or from YouTube, you can jump on over to the free group on Facebook, which is Conquer Your Sugar Cravings. And in Conquer Your Sugar Cravings, we are working on kicking sugars, but igniting our metabolism, and finding the sweetness in life. So, if you struggle with any of those things, come on over and join us. And have you been noticing more things to be grateful for after yesterday and now, today? Maybe you saw the post and you were thinking about it. And today I wanted to talk about people that are often overlooked. And this is what I mean by that. There are people in the world who are often kind of almost invisible. There's the person who bags your groceries. There's maybe the person, if you go to a full service gas station, who pumps your gas. There are people who fill your oil tank for you. There is the person who checks you out of the grocery store. There's the person when you are leaving the garage and you have sometimes there's like an attendant there who helps you with your ticket. If you're having trouble with your ticket, so things like that. So those are all types of people who are overlooked. And I wanted to tell you a story about the person that why this wasn't an issue for me, or this was something that I noticed. So, as you may know, I am a special needs parent, and my son Jack. So, when we were pregnant with Jack, we would we still always do. We go to the children's hospital a lot, like a lot. We're there at the children's hospital e almost every month. Well, it depends. We're at the doctor's a lot. So, particularly when we were pregnant with Jack, we were going to the hospital, quite a bit. And this was before I had met him and kind of knew what was going on. And it was a very scary time. Hello, because we did not know what was going on. So, just so you know, I can't see anyone's name right now unless you give StreamYard permission to see your name. So, there's a little link in the description. If you click that, then Facebook says that it's okay for StreamYard to know who is commenting. And I will see your comments when I go in the group too. So, as a special needs mom, when I was pregnant with Jack, we were going to the hospital a lot. I didn't know Jack. And here was the really scary part: we had no idea what was going on. They could not tell us. So there was some genetic testing, and this was Jack is 16 years old now. So this was 16 years ago. I mean, there has been like a quantum leap in terms of the genetic testing that they can do now. So they really could only do like a very little bit and they had no idea what it was. And so if you have no idea what it is, it goes from maybe being something that's like this to being like really anything. And the doctors were really clear about that, which is kind of a scary thing. So we were going to the doctors a lot. They wanted me to go to the doctors every single week to get an ultrasound to measure his brain ventricles, which was terrifying. And it was not a fun thing. Sometimes, going to get an ultrasound is a fun thing. That became not a fun thing because then it was terrifying, that number of how big are the ventricles? What does that mean? What does all of this mean? So it was a very anxiety provoking time. And I remember, so we would go and you park there. I would go to Children's Hospital in Boston. You go and you park there and they validate your parking. And there was a person who was always there who would validate the parking for us. And I remember the first time we went, I didn't know that they validated parking and I paid like $30 for the parking. And I thought, we're going to be here a lot. How does anybody afford this? And I was so grateful when I realized that they did validate parking. So it's like $10 a visit instead of $30 a visit. So I would go to my visit and I would get the ticket punched. And at this time, I was going to the visit by myself because I was still pregnant with Jack and they were doing all these scans and things. And the person who punched my ticket was always the same person. She would always punch my ticket. She would always look me in the eye. She always had a kind word. a bless you, a have a good day, some kind of way of connecting. She always had a smile. She was always very patient with me. And I remember, I'm not going to cry. um, I just remember some days just leaving the hospital feeling so scared and to have somebody there just to smile because I would go alone. So this was a scary thing going there alone. And then just to have somebody who was there, who was, showing me some kindness. I'm going to get it together. So anyway, I was so grateful to her and I think she is still there. So I think she was there. She wasn't there the last time I was there, but she was there for a while. And I was so grateful to her. Sorry. um, so she was amazing. And I was just so thankful to have that kind of word, even if she didn't know my situation, all of that, because it just helped me to feel a little bit better on my way out of the hospital. And so by giving gratitude to these people, there's a couple of things. One is there's a few things that I wanted to talk about. One is that it humanizes people. So often we will drive by these people, we don't see these people. It humanizes the people that are around us. And we should also let them know. And I had written down that I was going to write her a letter, and I don't think I ever did. And I actually talked with somebody who worked on the staff at Children's Hospital, and they knew her name. And her name was also Kathy, which was kind of amazing. And they said, please write her a letter because these people don't know how much they can affect people. Sometimes their job is really overlooked. So I think it does a couple of things when we can give gratitude to people who we often overlook. And that can be humanizing people. It helps us to slow down, it helps us to feel connected. And then we can also show the same to them. So we can also let them know that what they do, even this small thing, has a big impact. And that can really change their lives too. So think about that. If you're doing a job where you're just punching the tickets all day and you feel like you don't matter, and you probably encounter some grouchy people along the way too. If you got a letter or you got a kind word from someone, that would be amazing. What would that do for your day? That could really kind of change things. But it also gives us a great sense of gratitude as well and connectedness. And that's going to reduce our stress. So I encourage you today to think about who in your life, in your world, not in your life really, because we're not really in your lives, but who in your world are you driving by every day, is helping you every day that you kind of don't see? They become invisible. So think about that and um, how you can thank them and what kind of impact they have on your world. And this reminds me of one of my favorite scriptures lately this year, which is, I think if my Aunt Judy is watching this, she can, I'm sure, help me with this, but it is consider others better than yourselves. So you do not know what other people are going through, and you do not know what situations may be going on. So to be able to see them and to really appreciate them really makes a huge difference. And then this affects us because we feel more connected. We feel less isolated. Even if we're not really having a lot of connection with them, we feel less isolated. And that's going to bring our stress down. And that helps us overall. And it does actually help with healthy eating as well. So today's gratitude practice is to notice the people in your life who you maybe taking for granted. So at the grocery store, who bags your groceries, the teller at the bank, all of these little jobs, all of these people that would drive by that we don't know, that we take for granted, that we can just extend gratitude to them from our heart. And maybe even sometimes tell them, for example, if it's a special situation like mine, I really need to write a letter to this person to let her know the impact that she's had. That I think would be great for her and great for me. So I really encourage you to do that today. And there'll be a check in post later where you can check in and say, who are the people that you drive by that you see that maybe are often overlooked that do have a positive impact on your life? Are they, do they have a great attitude? Do they help you with something? Is there some way that they are making life easier? So look out for those people, and I'd love to hear who they are. Thank you for watching, and I'm going to go get myself together now. All right. Thank you.